Diakhaby, and in the end they had to rely on some brilliant build-up play between Aubameyang and Lacazette for the latter to slide home an equaliser before he sent that unstoppable header beyond Neto, clearly a yard over the line to give Arsenal the lead going into the break. The second half continued much in the same vein, Arsenal managing to conjure up a few attacks, and then when it mattered, Aubameyang was there to volley home at the far post. I know we've spoken about Lacazette tonight, Chris, but Aubameyang as well. Pretty tireless performance from him. He didn't give up, did he? He had a few sighters in the first half. Didn't go to plan, but then when it mattered, he was there.
Yeah, you're right, Max, and I think what we saw, again, was a manifestation of their partnership, their understanding, just taking the first goal. Oba didn't even look at the route of the through ball from Lacazette. He just knew it was going to be in roughly the right position, and he sprinted through to make sure he was ahead of the defender. And when he got there, he didn't panic. He could have taken the ball on, had a shot himself. He checked back, drew two defenders, drew the goalkeeper, and Lacazette. The hunger's there, as we talked about, Max. He's in position. It's a little prod into his path for the first goal, and that really got us on our way after what I thought was quite a stagnant start from Arsenal.
So a healthy advantage going into the second leg. There is a game between these two matches. Brighton at home on Sunday. Arsenal's confidence in the league hasn't been great, but it's a return to Emirates Stadium. It's a place that we know and that we love to play here. How much will this help in terms of confidence for that?
I think it gives us a big boost. You always find these last home games of the season that have a kind of a festival vibe as well. You've got the likes of Ramsey, of course, saying goodbye to the home crowd. It's always nice to give them a good send-off. If we're going to get through to the Champions League through a more traditional route, through the top flight, we simply have to win against Brighton.
There we go then. The next game will be against Brighton, but for now, don't go anywhere, as David Hillier is headed down to join the boys in the studio for some analysis on this game. But for now, from me and from Chris Harris as well, thank you very much for joining us on Arsenal.com and the Arsenal app. We'll go back to the guys in the studio to talk through all of the reaction to tonight's win.
Thanks very much, Max. Yep, a happy studio it is down here because we were staring at 2-1, to be honest with you. We were staring at 2-1 and Johnny and I had kind of made peace with it a bit. And then Aubameyang scored, Johnny, and we just went crazy in here, didn't we?
Absolutely. I mean, what are you talking about, Arsenal Football Club? You do it to our hearts all the time, don't you? We're all there going, oh, I can't handle this. Aubameyang in the last minute. How'd you like it, Valencia? A real sickener, and you won't want to face us again. They've got to face us out at the Mestalla, and they're going to be like, oh, right, OK, we're going to get about 3 goals. We've got the bad boys up top who are dishing out beats. We're ready to go. Let's head to Baku. Let's go.
Is that music beats? I'm feeling a bit left out here. No, I agree totally with everything Johnny said. I mean, it was a fantastic end. I wasn't expecting it. I thought we'd shut up shop. We was looking comfortable. We was keeping them right penned back in their defensive area. Every time they popped out, a defender would step through, get the ball again, we get possession. I think Xhaka turned it around after the first 20 minutes, got to say. He simplified his game. He was involved in the goals. And I just think it worked. It worked for Arsenal. Oba, who had no involvement in the second half, hardly whatsoever, after having quite a lot in the first, down that left-hand side, pops up at the end with a peach finish. Lacazette could have got his hat-trick twice. Well, not twice, but he could have got it 2 attempts. He had to get
wasn't it?
The header, you know, how did he miss that? He'd be kicking himself. Yeah. But, 3-1, so much better than 2. The parameters of what they've got to do have now doubled, as opposed to just getting 1 goal. Brilliant finish.
I'm so happy. And you mentioned as well, David, that you thought that we'd shut up shop, and it looked like that's what we were trying to do. Lauren Koscielny actually had to make an amazing interception at one point. A few people tweeting about that, actually. We can see here, world-class defending.
It's like Tony Adams, wasn't it? It was a TA tackle, wasn't it? I loved it. He got up and then he just passed it down the line with that Tony Adams posture.
Honestly, can't think of a player who has pushed his body to the limits like Koscielny has. That's from Al and Cheap Heat saying we should probably cover all Larry Koscielny's medical bills after he's retired, to be honest. Yeah, there was a few. The one you mentioned there where he kind of tackled and then got back up and then done the pass. I loved that. There was the header where it was like cross.
Put his head right in a dangerous place, didn't he? Because I think it was Guedes was in, wasn't he? He was in. He was looking. He picked his spot. He was already Alan Shearer in it like that. He was off and then
I mean, you look at the way Valencia was set up in the second half. They were all about counter-attack. And Guedes is really pacey as well. And you're talking about 3 or 4 last-ditch challenges there. You know, I mean, Torreira was caught in at one point, right, in kind of filling in at left-back. And if he didn't make the tackle there, we were in big trouble. There's so many last-ditch challenges, but Arsenal stuck to their task really, really well. Yeah. And to come through the way we did... Oh, I'm just beaming.
It was frustrating, though, because, you know, David's already mentioned it. Lacazette had a few chances, and you out there have been having your say about this. So we're looking at this chronologically as well. So these tweets probably would have happened when he missed those chances. So how on earth has Lacazette failed to score there? That's from Matt Sam saying brilliant save, but Lacazette should score that. Also, Nizar saying Lacazette should have had 5 by now. Arsenal could really regret this in the Mestalla next week. Not anymore, though.
I'm pleased you've cleared up there in chronological order, because if anyone's sending out that tweet right now, you've got something wrong there,
No.
It's a bad time delay in your house, mate. You want to get the Wi-Fi checked out.
Sort the Wi-Fi out.
Sort the Wi-Fi out.
But now, as you said, David, it's the perfect result for Arsenal. Obviously, the away goal's a little blot on the copybook, but now that
it is. I mean, I alluded back to our semi-final. We was 3-2 up at Highbury, Sampdoria, and we went there and got beat 3-2. So, although it's not it's 3-1 today, there's still a chance. But it does mean that they've got to do so much more. They're going to have to change the way they play to achieve this result against Arsenal. They're not going to do it by counter-attacking, playing 5. They're going to have to either go maybe 4-3-3 and like compensate on the wing somehow, give something up. But they're going to have to go that extra mile. Arsenal, on the other hand, can just sit in there, pick them off when they want, play the counter game if they want, but certainly keep that intensity they had tonight. When Valencia got back in it after a few, like the 5 or 10 minutes Arsenal had at the beginning, I was a little bit worried. And then obviously the goal, you're thinking this could be like an avalanche, but we absorbed it. We got on with a job at hand and we reacted, and it was good to see the players at times a lot of cover. Ainsley had a lot more help tonight. I was pleased with that. After the first 20 minutes, he had a lot more help, and it paid dividends. Our flanks and our play down the flanks was really good tonight. Made a difference.
Yeah. Cech as well, a word on Petr Cech. It could be his last home appearance for us tonight, and he did the business when called upon. That save with the legs at 2-1. We could be looking at a totally different result now. John here saying, what a save, Petr Cech. Huge moment in the game, excellent decision making and a great use of the dive spread technique. Sometimes Cech gets it wrong and doesn't get close enough to the centre forward to affect the ball, but he nailed it then. It was a big save, wasn't it, Johnny?
It was a massive save, and, you know, saves like that sometimes, you know, they change the dynamic of the game. Valencia is sitting back, they're playing counter-attack football, they're waiting for their opportunities, they had that opportunity, and what they're saying is, can we finish and really, you know, put the knife into Arsenal? Because they'll be, if they had a 2-2 draw here, they'd be fancying themselves at their ground. But Cech comes out and says, not today, fellas, you know, and he set up that blockbuster ending where we've really hurt them. We've really hurt them.
But he did drop one in the game, and he come, didn't he? Come for one, and I think that's for players to have that experience. A couple of our own players got underneath him. When he comes and he makes that big shout, you should be getting everybody out of the way for him to come over the top. I think they got in his way a little bit. But other than that, decent performance. His kicking was decent as well today. Although he hit a couple down the middle, we didn't see that indecisiveness that we saw on previous kicks where he stuttered a little bit. He's just gone, no, do you know what? I'm cleaning this out. If it goes out the stand, it goes out. We saw Mustafi do it, didn't he? Just smash one. Like, get rid of that. It's danger.
But I think one of the things you were saying about with regards to Cech, like dropping that ball there, you know, Diakhaby was causing a lot of problems from set pieces, and that is certainly going to be something to watch out for in the second leg. I mean, that was just a clear, obvious tactic of theirs. Pump it to the big man. He was terrorising people at times. Even our keeper, you were saying, you know, Cech with his hands in the air and jumping got to the same level as Diakhaby with his head. So it is going to be a problem. They obviously want to get physical from set pieces, but what they won't want is to face our front two, and we need them both backfiring. So it's really good ahead of Brighton as well. They will not want to face them again because they will look at the Valencia backline and think there's more goals for us.
Yep, and we can see now some reaction from the Arsenal fans out there when Aubameyang got that goal. See here, Aubameyang, get in. Let's go, Aubameyang. Aubameyang forever. Just Aubameyang. We've got some more tweets here. What a crucial goal that can be. Thank you, Aubameyang. And from Ben, that is an awesome cross from Kolasinac and a tricky finish made to appear easy by Aubameyang. Great goal. Yeah, because me and Johnny were saying here, because by then we'd already come back in here, because, you know, we were watching it out there, but we'd already come back in here to do this, and on the kind of TV screen we're watching it on, we couldn't tell if it was in right away. But David, you said you noticed as soon as the cross went over.
As soon as the cross went over, the lovely little dink, and I thought, do you know what? He's got that. I actually thought he'd headed it at first, but I saw the volley. And the thing is, you know, like they say a golfer, if you could play golf and you wear white shoes, you've got to do the business, right? You've got to look. Well, he drove a gold Lamborghini in today, right? I've seen it in the car park. I've seen the gold Lambo, right?
That's actually mine.
No, it ain't, because it's
He's borrowed it off Johnny.
He ain't on it, unless you've got a P as a nickname.
Bought it off him. Auto trader, mate.
Couldn't be bothered to get the embroidery out of the headrest. But to drive that back out of the stadium, he knew he was under pressure tonight. He had to do something. He's come up with the goods. He can drive that out. He can stick his head out the window and drive it out because he deserves it, mate. Yeah,
sign a little autograph on the way out. See you later.
He really did what he needed to do. He wasn't outstanding in like flair or anything like that, but he worked the channel. He looked really tired at the end. He looked. I saw it. He was like. And he put a shift in. He just done a lot of long, pacey runs down that side to stretch Valencia. And like Johnny said, they don't like being pulled around.
No.
They don't like being pulled around. And we did to them what they wanted to do to us. They wanted to move us about. And second half, our defence really sat solid. They covered each other. They just shuffled around. It was nice and easy, how it should be.
Yeah, great Arsenal performance. Will this give us confidence, Johnny, ahead of Brighton's visit here on Sunday?
I think it has to. And to be honest, at the start of the day, I was actually sitting here thinking, you know, I didn't really want to say it, but this could have been a season ender here. If we had taken a bad result, there's no way we're going into Brighton with any confidence. You know, it's already not in our hands, as David alluded to earlier in the show. But now we go into it. We've got to be thinking, look, Brighton, let's knock them for a couple of goals here. You know, we will just take the win overall, but let's try and get a couple of goals out of it. And then Chelsea got a difficult game, more difficult on paper than we have, and then we'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, I think
we've got to be careful with Brighton though, and not be too naive and go in there too focused on getting the result, because Brighton are in a position where they need points to stop Cardiff catching them. Right? They're not fully safe yet. I think they've got 4 points more. Yeah. So they need to win both their games. And Chris Hughton ain't stupid. And he'll be aware of that, and he'll be looking to get a result. So we've got to be careful, but I agree. The confidence now, we can say, do you know what, that's how and it's at home. And it's another one, why is home better than away? Well, I don't know, you don't know, but we know it works. So this one's at home. So you've got to be on the money for it. There's a good opportunity for us to win this. Burnley's going to be difficult.
Yeah. We have to win the Brighton game. We have to. Yeah. But Burnley, you know. Well, the thing is,
at the end of the day, we'll win this competition, and then me and you we'll be in Valencia, in wherever the final. We'll be there, living it up.
In Baku, in our camper van.
In our camper van.
And that's going to be a sitcom being released next year.
I've been left behind out of this road trip.
It's my idea. You're driving.
Hey, what's wrong with you lot?
It's called Dave and Johnny, Fat Dave and Johnny in the back.
Outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Right, we're almost out of time, guys, but I need to get one word sign-off from you both for today's game.
Outstanding.
Amazing for me.
Outstanding and amazing. David Hillier, thank you very much.
Thank you, Nick.
Excellent working with you for the first time, Arsenal Nation. It was
Lucky
lucky as well. Maybe we should have done more. You know what I mean?
We should have.
Johnny Cochran, as always, dynamite stuff. I'll see you for the Burnley game, I think, is when you're back in. Thank you for watching Arsenal Nation live. There you have it, 3-1 in the first leg of this Europa League semi-final. We take that to the Mestalla next week. I think we got it in the bag. Come on, Arsenal! We'll see you Sunday for Brighton.